Hello and welcome to part 2 of the big black Ford S197 swap. Right now I am underneath the car. I am preparing to figure out what transmission I need to order. Well, I know I'm getting a C6 automatic 3-speed, but there's a lot of specifications I need to figure out. For example, like the torque converter, pilot size. I measured both the inner and the outer because I'm not entirely sure, and I'm going to send a picture of this the rear of the crankshaft to my transmission shop, and they will help me determine which pilot size I need to use. I'm pretty sure it's the 1.375 inner. And anyways, it's recessed, and I could always get a bearing or a sleeve machined for that. But yeah, I'm underneath the car. Fun little thing because the shifter's out. You can totally see inside the car. But yeah, you can really see how the oil pan clears the steering shaft and the K-member, and you gotta really see. I had to take out this little bar when I was test fitting the headers. By the way, the big block Ford 460 swap Fox body headers, the driver's side does not fit, the passenger side fits. The driver's side, the steering shaft gets in the way, and right here, the number 7, or no, it's number 5 cylinder primary tube hits this, and it needs to be bashed in a little bit, but that will clear if you do a little bit of a bashing, which is fun, and it's always, you don't lose power with it. It was tested, so don't say you do. Especially with as little horsepower as this is, like 500 horsepower, hopefully. With 2-inch primary tubes, I'm not going to lose a dime of horsepower, even if they were completely flat. But yeah, that's that underneath the car. I don't remember where I updated last, but I know that the new thing that I've done is I've gotten the carburetor. It's a Holley 750 CFM double pumper. I was going to use a Jack Daniels bottle as the coolant tank. I would use an inline radiator cap on that upper hose, but I spoke with my track and they said they most likely will not allow it, so I'm gonna have to go for something else, maybe an old Reading beer bottle or something, aluminum can. Yeah, because Cletus McFarland, I believe, used a Mountain Dew bottle on one of his cars. I don't remember what exactly, but what I've done now is I'm just prepping the turbo kit for sale. Those are the headers. I wanted to keep them together just to see what they kind of look like mocked up, and I can get a good picture and show people. Yeah, this is pretty much, except for the oil line there, this is all the turbo parts. It's a ton. I'm gonna guess it's gonna weigh probably 80 to 100 pounds to ship. Yeah. Oh, the intercooler too. The intercooler's still in the car. I haven't dealt with that yet, but I will be soon. But a big note to self. Shit. Tripping over tools. A big note to self is I'm going to be running a heating system, the regular heating system on the car. So it looks like in order to do that, I'm going to have to see. Do you see how this comes out before the thermostat? So what I'm going to need to do on this car is I'm going to need to use this plug right here. Yeah, so basically update what I've done is I've taken transmission off the 4.0. I need to get this adapter plate off of the TR3650 so I can sell it because it's worth a significant amount of money. It also fits a TR6060, which is the Shelby transmission, not the Shelby GT, the GT500. Yeah, here it is sitting back here. If you have a good amount of muscle, you'll be able to lift it yourself, and even with fluid, it's pretty easy. Yeah, so that's there. All the turbo parts are off except for the intercooler and the oil feed line on the engine. Oh, and the drain line, I guess I forgot that too. Yeah, well, I got a carburetor. It's a Holley 750 CFM double pumper. It's a classic HP. I don't believe there's a coating on it. It might be a zinc coating, but yeah. It's awesome and looks great. But what I did notice is if you look from the side, there is not a chance in hell it is going to fit under the stock hood, that front venturi tube. I think that's what it's called, the front venturi tube. I would have to drill a tiny little hole in the hood. So cowl hood is required, even at the engine sitting all the way back and as low as it goes. Yeah, I'm just gradually knocking things out. I made some custom emblems for the side. My friend designed them, I 3D printed them. I'm thinking about going over them with a high gloss, like clear coat maybe. Oh wow, you can really see some scratches in my paint. But it's a race car, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I want to clear coat over it, make it look a little bit shinier because it kind of stands out being dull on the side. Would focus. But yeah, I'm about to transport this engine. Why won't it focus? I'm about to transport this engine to my storage locker, and then I'm going to carry the TR3650 over. Yes, that's it so far. I'm at a crossroads here with the swap, I guess. Yeah, so I'm pretty close to being done, and it's getting tiring. I've been working like 5-6 hours a day since February 10th, and it's now almost April 10th on this engine swap, and gradually getting done, but it's nearing completion, and just working out the kinks is really tiring. I just want it to run already, really. I've been working on it 6 hours today, and yeah, it's like 1 in the morning right now. So let me show you what I have gotten done so far. It's been a big change. I haven't really been filming much because I've been working so hard on the car, so be prepared. Alrighty, I guess the flash is on. Yeah, the engine's pretty much set up and ready. I just need to get the exhaust on. I gotta deal with that first, so I gotta re-weld the tube because something bent somehow. And what else do I have to do? Still gotta attach the transmission. I don't know if you can see, but there's still nothing back there. I got the flywheel, or flex plate. I got the flex plate on, but the bolts are too long, and I have one here somewhere, and I gotta get some washers for it so they don't hit the back of the block when the flange turns, because that would be really bad. But I got the new pulleys on it. I kept V-belt. I didn't want to do a serpentine conversion. It's just too much of a hassle. The belt ended up being 41.75 inches long, and it is tensioned right now, barely. It barely fits. I have to really like pull it on to get it on. So 42 inches would have been a better size. Got the igniter coil and the distributor on. I was an idiot. I forgot to lube the distributor gear before putting it in, so it's got to come back out again. I just have the wires zip tied together. This isn't really suitable because they shouldn't supposedly be touching, but that's something that can be worked out later. I don't really know, but yeah. So I also have this new carb scoop. I don't know if I've updated with that. I built this out of Lexan. It's smoked Lexan, so you can still see through it. It's dirty as mess right now, but yeah, you can see like inside of it and stuff. Oh, okay, that shows better. So you can see inside of it. I gotta vacuum it. I guess dust is accumulating. I do plan to run this car on the street, so I'm gonna fabricate some sort of filter, like a mesh filter, to go over the front of it. Yeah, I got the throttle linkage all set. It is only about 1.5 feet long, and it goes right underneath the dash to my Watson Racing manual pedal, and you can sort of see right there it coming out. Yeah. I just have the clutch pedal. I don't want to change my whole pedal assembly, so I just have the clutch pedal zip tied, and since there's no fluid in it, it'll stay there. The clock spring, or not the clock spring, the spring that pushes it back up is also removed. What else? Oh, shifter. I have the TCI auto shifter installed. So that's first gear, second, third, and drive if I want to leave it in automatic, neutral, reverse, and then park. And yeah, I had to take out the center console. I don't know what it's called, but I still have the auxiliary port and the power, so I have my USB stuff and accessories and such, so I can like charge my phone, which will be there, and my Bluetooth adapter. Yeah. I don't know, there's not much to say. I got the new radiator cap, inline radiator cap mounted. It's a 13 pound radiator cap, and it is going into this US military 1 liter canteen, which I just bent this little bracket which goes to the PCM or EC or whatever you want to call it, and it'll hold it in place fine. I need to get something to secure it. I think I want to just throw a zip tie, a big ass zip tie around it, and tie it to the radiator mount right there. I had to extend my alternator wire. I used 4 gauge, and you can sort of see it, but I had to flip the alternator case around so it would fit, because it was hitting the block when I was trying to mount it. Yeah, you can see the clearance there. It's a low mount, alternator mount, by the way, but you can see there's this little thing on the power cable, or the stud was hitting the block right there. There. Yeah, so it was hitting there. For some reason, my water pump is extra special, and I needed to use some custom spacers for it, so it doesn't exactly align perfectly, but it's off by maybe a ½ millimeter, and I don't really care. You can sort of see with the belt alignment, it's like that crooked, just slightly, so it's fine. It's a V-belt, it'll flex. It's not like a serpentine where it'll fly off. What else? I looped the power steering, and it's not like fully secured because I keep having to pull it off to take the oil pan off and stuff. I just finished up replacing the oil pan gasket, and of course on this side I accidentally broke a bolt somehow. I had very little torque on it, and it just snapped off. I don't really understand why. It might have gotten heated from repeated in and out actions. Yeah. Fuel system. Oh, so this is the Aeromotive. I think it's Aeromotive. Yeah, the Aeromotive EFI 2 carburetor fuel pressure regulator, and it's got the gauge right there. I got Marshall liquid filled gauges. They were cheap. That's pretty much the only reason why I got them. And I also like the white bezel on the black. I am now realizing if these are glass, that a rock could pop up and hit them. So I may have to do like a cover or something. I don't know. But yeah, so this one is the EFI pressure, and this one is what the carburetor pressure will be. And it is a return style. I had to run the return line back through next to the pressure, the EFI line, and it goes from there all the way down the side of the car. to the tank, and I'll just pull this off real quick. You can see I plumbed it in here, and I fabricated this little tube sort of thing. So I got a stainless steel nut and a stainless steel 1/2-inch tube, and it leads to the bottom of the tank. Nothing special, it's just, okay, that won't go, whatever. Yeah, just make sure there's no aeration of the fuel. Yeah, that's pretty much it so far. Just knocking things out gradually. Wow, 8 minutes already. Okay. Just some glamour shots then, I guess, to wrap up the video. I ran the PCV tube, by the way. I need to change out the fuel pressure sending unit on the 460. It's 1/4 inch by 20 threads. Any aftermarket gauge is 1/4 inch NPT, so that's fine. Yeah. It is looking very, very nice. Should be running within a week, let's say. If everything goes right, the transmission goes on fine, should be running within this week. Oh, I gotta get a throttle return spring. Yeah. Yep, that's the car. Looking mighty fine. Alright, farewell. Alrighty, so I think it's about time that I did an update. I've done quite a bit. I don't remember exactly where I left off, but some things I've recently been working on are I'm exploring some wire, spark plug wire routing, and I think this is the best setup. So it points towards the back end and loops around and goes into the little wire separators. I've secured all of the fuel lines, and I've used the Teflon tape. It's this is different kind of Teflon tape though. It's specialty rated or something. I explored on that side. I haven't done anything on this side yet with the spark plug wires. I'm gonna do the exact same. I had I don't know if I share this, but I have the belt on, it's tensioned. I finally got around to doing the line for the crank sensor, which I fabricated. You can see it's mounted just kinda, sorta, right now. It needs to be fully mounted, and that goes to that little wheel right there. I just tack welded it in place. It doesn't need much, it just needed to be held. Sorry about that, that was a car passing by. But as the crankshaft rotates, this will sense the rotation and send that to the inside of the car to turn the tachometer. Yeah, the tachometer. And what this will also do is it will show the computer that the engine is turning, and that will send a signal to the fuel pump, which will power it and send fuel pressure to the system. Without this, the fuel pump would have to be hot wired basically to run 24/7 at maximum power, and I was not trying to do that. So it will be staged essentially. The regulator will maintain a constant pressure. I think I have to set mine at 6 psi for my carburetor. I still haven't sealed up the carburetor scoop. It is still leaking, but it is mounted and it is solid. I still need to get the return spring from the store. I think I came up with this recently, but I'm going to be pushing the radiator forwards to make room for the stock radiator fan. I'm still 50-50 on it. I just got a new job doing tuning at American Muscle, and I get an undisclosed employee discount because it's confidential information, and I will not share that with you, the public. I also recently got the transmission, oh my god, focus. I got the transmission mounted. That is the starter that you see bolted up. It is not wired yet because I'm using the stock solenoid off of the stock starter. And what I'm doing is I'm running the original power wires, which is the positive straight off the battery to here, and the starter like solenoid switch, which originally pushed this in, which let the starter engage or out. I don't know. I don't know how the starter, this solenoid operates, but essentially what I'm using it for is, this isn't mounted, but I'm connecting a large power wire to here, and that will go to the positive of the starter, the 460 starter, because there is only one positive connection, which you can sort of see. It's like that little gold thing right there, and it grounds to the block. So this is actually the same way that the original 4.0 V6 starter worked. It was just positive wires and it grounded to the block. I still need to attach ground, an engine ground. I'm thinking about doing it in the back so it's hidden, like off of maybe the intake bolts or something, or intake manifold bolts. Maybe I just do it straight off the block. I think that might be the safest because the intake manifold is aluminum, the engine's iron. That would give the best resistance or best path to travel. Yeah. This is the final mounting position for the wiring though. It will be like hanging like that. Not for the starter wires though. That's not gonna be there. But yeah, got the transmission dipstick. I just filled it up with fluid, 7 quarts, and the torque converter was filled with 4 quarts. It takes type F and type FA. Type F is preferred because it slips less than FA, but they both can work. I got the oil filter mounted. I replaced the oil pan gasket. There is no oil in the car yet. I still need to get that. Shoot, what else have I done? Fabricated a transmission mount. Let me show you that now. All right, you can sort of see it, but yeah, so it basically sits on that. And it's adjustable because I got these washers, you see. Those are just holding it to the body of the car, but where the transmission mounts, it's the same setup, so I can adjust the transmission yoke height, so I can lower it or raise it just with adding or removing washers. And yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at right now. There's only a few more things I have to do, really. I already told you about the stuff, so I need to fabricate the exhaust. What I'm doing is I'm basically making a jig with the original headers, so I'm bolting up the flange to a piece of wood, which I will have. I'm tracing the exhaust gasket onto a piece of sheet metal, which I will then bolt or wrap around a piece of wood, and then I will basically measure where the flange, or the flange which leads to the rest of the exhaust goes, and I will make a little wall which connects to it, and then I'm going to build the headers off of that, I think. I don't really know yet. I'm just going to work it out. Clearancing on this side's going to be tough, clearing that steering shaft. This side's going to be a little bit easier. I just need to change the tube that is hitting the K-member. It's, I believe, cylinder 1 or 2. But yeah, there's not much left to do. I need to fill it up with 93 octane because that's what it takes to power these 460s. Yeah, I also cleaned up a little bit back here. This is completely full and needs to be emptied, but there's no more fluids to drain into it. Yeah, so I'll update when it's getting closer to being done, or is done. Thank you. Bye. Welcome back. It's next clip, I guess. And yeah, I just finished the engine swap, and pretty calm now. I just like got all that excitement out beforehand. Yeah. All I gotta do now is fill fluids and wire up the positive and negative of the ignition coil, and a couple other minor things like the speedometer. But that can be done after the car is running. I just want to get this damn thing running already. So let me show you. Here we are. This is the final look of the big block Ford 460 swapped S197 Mustang. I got the headers in. Welds aren't the best. This side didn't need any welding. I was just putting it in wrong. But yeah, it's complete. Fluids and that's it. I cleaned it up. It looks all shiny now. Thank God. I was tired of seeing it all dirty. Yeah, this is the car. I still need, actually, other than fluids, I still need to add a radiator fan. I need to get a slim one from American Muscle. By the way, I work there now. Awesome. I'm a tuner. I work for Bama Tuning. I know some of you may hate Bama, some of you may like them, but I'm trying to make a positive difference in it. And yeah, but besides that, car is ready. And it is just absolutely crazy. I can't believe I just finished. It's insane. It looks incredible, in my opinion. I don't remember if I showed this, but that's the stock starter solenoid for the V6, and I just took it off the original starter. Sorry about that. I got a phone call and the video cut out, but yeah, that's the stock starter solenoid off of the V6, and I just took it off and wired it up so it would function with turnkey to start the 460, and basically that's yeah. So I don't know. Sorry, I've been working like since February, every single day on this swap, and it's taken a toll. It's taken a heavy toll on me. Yeah, sorry for all these glory shots, but it's just I love the look of it. Got the PCB set up at the back of the carb. Yeah, it's absolutely mad. Oh, I still gotta tighten that. But yeah, there's just tiny little shit left, and I'm just so excited. So that's how close the carb scoop is to the that little plastic. I can trim it back if I notice it's contacting it, but I doubt it since it's polyurethane bushings for the motor mounts there. So the reason why I had to modify the driver side header is these are Hooker 460 swap or Hooker 460 Fox body swap headers, and the steering shaft on the Fox body's different. So I had to loop them around the steering shaft, and it fits fine. It rubs a tiny bit, but I don't really care. It'll eventually wear it down and fix itself. Yeah, you can also see I still need to get the bolt in. I lost it for the for that steering shaft, and I also have to tighten the mounting bolt, which you can not really see, but it's right there. Yeah, that's the swap. Next video or next clip will be the starting of the car, or I'll just end the video here. I don't know. I'll finish it upstairs at the workstation, because I haven't gotten any clips of up there. Yeah, but this is like all the tools that I used for the swap, minus the hoist and some other big shit. Yeah. Well, that is it.
Yep. Wait, show.